We're looking for the 4 F's. That is fruit, flowers, foliage and fungi. Hello and welcome to the Treasured Page. I'm Melanie and this is our quiet crafting space. Well, today I'm introducing the new challenge for this month. This is May 2025 and we are going to be making a set of cards to come and live in our journals. Now here at the Treasured Page we run a quarterly swap and at the moment we're looking at spring and we are making spring journals over 3 months. We've got this month's project and we will be putting everything together in June, and then at the end of June we'll have our spring journal complete, which we could then store away and use for next year if we want to. We'll then embark on our summer journals. But here in front of me you'll see that I'm working with index cards today. I'm going to be making a set of 4 journaling cards that all work together within the theme of foraging. So that's our theme and we're going to look at that and explore that, but first I'd like to get going and have a background put on my cards. Now I'm going to eventually be sending this off to a swap partner and I'm going to want to put 2 to a page, I think, because for this challenge we're going to be decorating 2 pages in our journal and we are building signatures. So if you are taking part in the swap and you've already got a swap partner that you're sharing ideas with, what we're suggesting is that you send pages to one another and on one of the pages that you fold in half you decorate the front and the back, so 2 sides of your folded piece of paper that will be going out. So that's what we're up to. Now what I'm doing here is I'm separating them slightly so you can see I've left a little gap. I'm then just getting some washi tape, which I know to be not very sticky, and I'm taping them down so that I can remove that at a later date, but I am just leaving that gap. And that is so I will be able to run the scissors through that gap later on, and I'm just keeping them together like this. Now what I can do is turn them over and I can decorate them as one piece. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be bringing in scraps. So this is a fun scrap busting project. So if you'd like to have a go, you need to get some cards. Now ultimately I'm going to want my cards to be a lot smaller so that they come and fit on the page. So I would need to reduce this by 1 inch. These are 6 inches across when I bought them, so I actually want to work with 5 inches. And I'd like them to be reduced in size at the top, but I don't want to trim them just yet. I want to decorate them, and then when I trim them I give myself an interesting scrap. So now I'm going to decorate it. I'm going to put down scraps and I'm going to put down ink effects, and I'm just going to have a nice relaxing time, have a cup of tea and have a play. Okay, if you'd like to have a go at this one, you're going to need some neutral scraps and some stick glue. We're just going to take that and we're going to just start putting our glue down all over. Let's just do one side first. The glue dries quite quickly, so I'm just doing that all the way over and going to be piecing down my scraps. So just be putting them down, not really thinking about it. Let's just put plainer ones. Okay, we're just going to put the glue all over and we're just sort of ignoring the fact that we've got the lines there. We're just going to start putting that over the top of it and then gluing everything down. Just adding in these neutral colours and sticking them down. I've got packaging papers and just things that I've cut off. Strips of old grungy bits of torn paper that I've dyed, anything like that, just going down, trying to keep it going across several of the cards so that there is a continuity of the colour so that we're getting it in the top and the bottom. So when I cut it, we have something that is similar. So we're just going to put down these strips here, have a bit of that there. Just adding in what we've got. I've got some dyed papers here. This is what used to be a piece of corrugated cardboard, but This was the top layer that came off out of an eco dye actually, so it's got some texture on this one. Just bring that up there. Glue's drying now. Just put that down, just get this grungy background going on. That's it, just sticking it down and then removing anything that I could reuse and putting it down here in other places. So just going over my line. So now I'm just treating it as one piece. It's really fun, just nice relaxing, just sitting down here. I've got some different papers, tea bag papers. This is some fibery paper here, handmade paper, just nice texture. Anything a bit rustic. This is all going to be to do with the outdoors, with nature, with foraging for food, that sort of thing. So just a lovely field notes vibe. So we're thinking along the idea of country living, outdoor lifestyle, rustic, rural, and maybe historical botanics. So going back in time, what era is this? Very much a farming community of people. We all were all over the world. Early settlers, land owners, agricultural labourers, all that sort of vibe. Just let's take ourselves back in time as we put down some of the papers. You can work with vintage papers, you can work with tea and coffee stained papers. Just give yourself that sense of winding back the years and having a look at something deep down in your past. So relax into this, start thinking about historical past, perhaps where you live or perhaps where you grew up, and just think about older people from your time before, what they would have done, what they would have got up to. Did they like cooking? Did they grow their own vegetables? Did they keep animals? Were they farmers? Did they till the land? Did they go to the markets? All that sort of thing. And then go back into deeper history when we were foraging for food and looking for things and maybe picking berries and picking fruits from trees and coming back and then making something delicious. So we're thinking about all of that as we're placing down these papers. When you think of a scene like that, you start selecting papers that sort of almost fit that theme. So if you're thinking about something from a vintage era, you may be drawn to the darker sepia tone or brown bark like papers that you have, and you can then put those down. And of course that's fun because you can start seeing something a little bit more natural appearing, a little bit akin to nature. We're looking for a rustic, primitive charm on this one. And I think if you've been following along, you've been seeing that I've made a giant pink journal. So why does this fit into my giant pink journal? Well, it's sort of like grunge meets pink, so we are just going with some peculiar ideas. I've got a bit of book page here so I can bring that text block in as well and just have little shards of this, but I don't want too much of it. Let's just check that I like it. That's got numbers on it, that's a bit better. Let's put that where there's gaps, look for the gaps and then just add that in. Ooh, a little bit of green coming in. I've got some map there and a little bit of digital kit there with a little image there with a leaf on it. So just these are offcuts out of a magazine. I don't think we want that. That's too colourful. Looks like a photograph, not really the vibe. Alright, so we've got it looking like that. The next thing I want to do is to put some tea stain on or coffee stain. Just want to age this, take it back to a forgotten time. So that's what I'm doing now. The next thing I'm going to take is a splatter brush and some tea. And this is just black tea that I've made up here, just using a tea bag. So that is a tea that I've already made. So I just want to now flick on some stain just so that we get that aging coming in various areas, and we can just have that dripping across. And I've just got a little mat here to keep my desk tidy. Just enjoy it, just a little bit of fun, having a play and just flicking it around. You really can't get this wrong. It's just sticking it down. It's easily done. You can pre-tear your papers before you start this. You will be able to paste down your glue. If you've got wet glue, that would be great. If it wrinkles up, so much the better. We're making something from a real forgotten time in the past, okay, so it doesn't matter. Just use what you've got. Use different textures of paper as well. That's all going to be great. So that's that. We've done the tea. And now, while we've got that just soaking in, we'll put it down, and we're going to put some tea over the back here as well. So we're just going to put this on here. I'm aware that my tape is in the way, but just give us some aging effects on there, and then we can go around with the ink later on and give it an inked edge. That will be great. All right, now actually what we can do is take the tape off now. I'm just going to remove that tape. It has taken up some of that. Didn't think that was very sticky, but it apparently is. All right, we'll take that away. Removing the tape, now I can get my tea in there. It's just damaged the paper a little bit, but that's even better. It just adds to the effect of this being an aged paper. So we'll put that on there. I might want to trim that away anyway. Now like that. Okay. Okay, that's pretty good. Now I want to take it a little bit darker, so I'm going to use a dark brown ink. I'm using torched timber, but this one is just a very, very dark. So we'll just give it a go. Let's see how we think. I'm just going to put some water on it, or tea. I'll just use my tea and mix that in. It's a nice dark brown. And then I can get some splats from here, potentially. That's pretty, if pretty's the right word, but it's effective. These are lovely little fan brushes that you can get that will do this, and all that is a little bit of your ink pad and some moisture, so you just can use water, mix it in. Just give that, I think a little bit of green actually would be nice as well, like a green moss. That would be lovely, because we're looking at foraging, so we've got to think woodlands and going out and looking in the fields. What plants would you find? Foraging is for food, that's for, you know, health, that's for looking after yourself and cultivating the land to grow things. So foraging is looking for food in the wild. Very cool. So these are coming apart now, so we've got to just do that. And then I'm just going to use that ink and put it over the top there. Some places like that. Just move it around a bit. Quite nice colour. Quite a fun, quite like that colour. Haven't used that one before. Okay, so it's now becoming rather soggy. I'm going to let that dry. I'm just going around now, just putting any extra colour using the same method with the torched timber. I'm just putting some on the edge there, which is possibly going to get trimmed away anyway, but we're just having a little play, just bringing in the dark colour, quite enjoying, just settling into this quiet craft and just using one colour to paint with, just darkening edges here, filling in white little gaps there, just aging it. I just want it all to blend into this darker tone, which is great. You don't have to, you can have this lighter, you can have it black and white, you can have it sepia, any colour, you can have it green, just whatever foraging conjures up for you. Makes me feel more like I'm in the woodlands and looking for plants, and I'm thinking about bark on trees, so that's why I've got it looking like that. Okay, so that was fun. I had a little play there. Alright, it's pretty much dry, and from here what I want to do is some stamping using my black archival ink. So this is an ink that can't be moved when it's wet because it's waterproof. So I'm using Black Soot by the Distress range, and I've got a number of rubber stamps including the Field Notes by Stampers Anonymous because I think the numbers would be perfect for this, and we'll just have a little go with that. Okay, so I've got a stamp here just of some botanical foliage. I'm putting that down. Oh, that's really lovely. So we just have a look at your stamps, see if you've got anything that gives you the sense of something to do with botany. So we just put that in there like that, and another one there. That's nice. I've got these silicone stamps. I've had these for years. They're super inexpensive, but I think they've got a bit hot in the craft room because they're starting to dry out. They do have a tendency to do that, particularly if you live in a hotter climate, so it's probably best to go for the rubber stamps if you are looking to invest in stamps, so that you would get the red rubber stamps. I think that they last a bit longer. These are lovely because you can see through them, and you can see where you're putting them, so I do like that on the acrylic block. It's lovely. They're lovely. Okay, so I've done some stamping, and before I go any further I just want to cut them out, separate them so I can see where I would like further stamping to go. I'm also going to trim these down under my trimmer. And here we are, I've trimmed the cards down. They're now roughly 5 inches by 3.5. So that's 12.5 centimetres by 8.5 centimetres, give or take. So I'm now going round just checking that we haven't got too much peeling up. I think if I'd used a wet glue at the beginning I wouldn't have had too much peeling up, so I have got a few little bits I can see here, so I'm just repairing that as I go. A little bit there, and then just stick that down. So once you're happy with that, you can then go and ink around the edges, just making sure that you lose the white cut line and introduce some aging effects here. So this is an aging effect grunge project, just having a little go, and it's a great way to just check if you've got anything peeling up. You can then just tack that back down. I think we're maybe another one there, so we'll oopsie, just put that down and then ink around. So ink around. Now there's many ways to make these, and the embellishment on the front is going to be from our prompt this month. So the prompt is foraging. We're looking for the 4 F's. That is fruit, flowers, foliage and fungi. Those are the things that you can forage for if you were out in the wild, you were looking for food. Now we're going to be foraging in our craft areas, looking for images that may fit those themes. But you could also think about what animals forage. So you could add birds to the front of your cards. Okay, I'm now going to forage around in my craft area and see if I can find anything that fits the theme. So the first thing, we've got foliage, and I found a leaf. So I quite like that, so I'm just having a look where that could go, potentially there. I found an image of some fruit, which I fussy cut out of a sticker book, so we're also going to be looking at where I could bring that. And then I found some strawberries on a book page, so I'm going to fussy cut those out and go with the grapes that I found. And then I've cut this out of a botanical book, which is dandelions. So I'm going to ink around that as well. So this has just come out of a book. So in the UK, back in history, the month of May would have been a very tricky time for food. We would have had to forage for food. It's not a lot of food that grows in May in abundance. So our ancestors would have had to get quite creative, and the dandelion would definitely have been on the menu. So putting this here, the dandelion, because it's a plant that's very much rich in vitamins and nutrients, and we would have used the dandelion root, and you can cook with that, and you can also use the petals. So I'm putting that there because that's a good foraging find. Cut my strawberries out, because you might have been lucky enough to find wild strawberry growing, and the foragers would have definitely been delighted to find a few strawbs. So I'm going to cut those out and add those to my foraging cards. Then we also have the leaves here, so foliage could be herbs and all sorts of leaves that could be consumed, but also we use to find them for medicinal purposes and for cleaning. Some leaves have the ability to produce a soap-like substance so that you can clean with them. I believe the horse chestnut, the tree that produces the conker, they used to use the leaves to make a detergent, so you could wash your hands in it. Very cool, very interesting. It's a pastime that's making a comeback. All the old traditional, old ways, the old country ways. A very fascinating topic for anyone interested in growing their own or sustainability. All right, so we've got this. That's nice. All right, I've been using this sticker book and I'm having a look in here because I noticed the other day that there was some toadstools and mushrooms. Here we are. So we just need to choose one of these that's going to look good on the page. We've got this backing, which is nice as well. I thought there was, oh, here we go. There's another one. Maybe this giant one. I love that. Let's see if he will fit. Maybe. Might have to lose the bottom, but it's a good colour. So let's just have a look. Yeah, we'll come down a bit. Let's have a look. We'll get rid of the white. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, let's have a look. I don't like that now. Get rid of that. See if we've got anything else. Nice cherries up here. Strawberries can come over there. That's better. I think we'll have the grapes as well. Alright, quite like that. We've got that one there. Alright, so I'm having a play around here. I've got an image of a leaf here and I've just got this ink. I want to see if I could just dull out the white background there. I think I can, and the same on these grapes. So this is just a image from the sticker out. So these are images from the sticker album, and there's just some areas that is quite tricky to fussy cut. So I just put the ink on there, just dull that down. Sometimes it's really difficult to get round the edge with an ink dauber on particularly delicate areas, and there just sometimes is a little bit of a white edge that is bothering me. So I'm going around, there's one there which I just think if I can dull that down then it blends in, and also where it's really difficult to fussy cut I'm just going over areas there just with the paintbrush. Alright, that's good, and that's looking good. And then there's just this little bit here on this book page, so I'm going to do that and just mute down. I just mute that down, and then it looks less like it's been cut from a book. Okay, I'm just bringing out my labels here. I've got some from Tracy Fox. These are the botanical definitions. This one says pollinate, so it explains what that's all about. So we're putting that there because that was the prompt from last month where we looked at the bees and the butterflies are natural pollinators. And of course this is the result, the fruit, isn't it? So there we go. That's a nice one. So I'm going to glue all of that down. Quite happy with that, and we'll probably just put a stamp down the side there just to give a little detail. So I'm going to go round with my glue. Right, so I'm sticking all my little images down, found in various places. Let's bring this one over here. Alright, so this is the first rustic card with the fruit on it and the label. So I really like that one. We're going to just work on them, and then I'm going to put sewing on them at the end, and then after that, if I need any more embellishment, I can check after that. Okay, I found a stamp of a toadstool. I can get an impression down there. Oh, it's just moved. Oh no. Okay, no, it's okay. That's fine. I can see that, and then we're going to have that there. I may go over the top with my collage glue if I can't get this to stick properly. There's a little bit of a shine to the stickers. I don't think it's too bad, but might want to have that. Okay, that's looking good. And then what do we want? We want one of these. Woodland. That's nice. New forest. I like the red. That's nice. Let's have the red. Bit big, but I think if I have them all like that, then they're in keeping, aren't they? All right, putting that down there, and then just add the leaves. Okay, here we have them. So I went ahead and did this one off camera, and I've added another little label there. That is from Clee Black Creations, monochrome labels, and it's really nice because it's got the little calendar dates down there, and then I've added a butterfly there. So that was for the dandelion. We've got this one that you saw me doing. So what I want to do now is just finish them off with some final stamping, and I've inked around the edge, and we're going to just put a stamp on the back, and those are the rustic journaling cards, and they just need to be left to dry. So, oh, beautiful sunflower. Okay, so that worked. The fruit, that's cute. Cute fruit. I might do another one over the other side. Oh, lovely. Like that. Yes, I think that's fine. And then maybe a little bit just up here. Pretty. That's nice. I like that. So let's have the numbers down the side here as well. Oh, that's fun. And here we have it. These are the lovely journaling cards for this month's challenge. Okay, so they are all about foraging through nature, looking at fruit, flowers, foliage and fungi, the 4 F's of foraging. All right, so they have been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed putting them together, but also the second challenge would be how I would be displaying them on a page, certainly if they are going into my journal, but also if I'm gifting them to another person. So for this month's challenge, if you are gifting them to a like-minded friend, you would need to be mounting them onto a page on 2 sides. So this could be envelopes that you then slot the cards into. You could have a lovely tuck that they just slot in, and then you can see everything peeping out. You could have them so they flip up on the page, and or they could go that way. You can orientate them this way so that you do your decoration in landscape. That's quite traditional in the way you might expect them as journaling cards. These have been done in maybe a postcard way, so that's just another nice look for a journaling card. It doesn't always have to be in portrait. Fun to do them in landscape. I've got some offcuts here of some page corners, so it's giving me the idea of maybe having them mounted as if they were old photographs. So you could think about having them on your page like that and strengthening them up with card and have little corners. You could then have little photograph corners and make a feature of those. So I thought that they were absolutely lovely. You can of course make them a lot smaller. You could have 4 to a page, and then you could also do the photograph corners, and I thought that that would look really nice, like a little gallery. You could also do a collection of 4 just focusing on one of the prompts. So you could do flowers, or you could do the fungi, and you could do all different things. So it's exactly as you choose. So there's lots of scope to play around there. You could do do them all differently. You could even have them as envelopes if you want, and these could be the toppers of envelopes, so you could do them like that, or booklets, anything. Just create these cards and then apply them to the page or to another application. Even make them into a side tag that you could slot in. Lots of ideas, so it's really up to your imagination this month how you would like to play around with the journaling cards for May. Okay guys, so I hope that that's been of some inspiration for you, and we will be back here piecing this all together with this fun journal in the nature notes style. And if you've been following along with Builder Signature 2025 as set out by the Treasured page, you can have a look in my playlist. You'll be able to see the monthly challenges that we've had. This all started in March. This is the third one in the challenge, and we are making a journal over 3 months. So this journal will be completed at the end of June. So if you'd like to have a play, have a catch up and join in, then you absolutely can. And then after that we'll be starting a summer journal, so we'll be doing them quarterly. If you'd like to join the swap, there will be an announcement coming out in the middle of May. You will be able to put your name down on the Facebook group page, so do have a look at the link below for the Facebook group. That's the Treasured Page FB group, and you'll be able to sign up middle of May. Do have a look, keep an eye out for the post, put your name down there, the country that you're crafting from, and if there's enough of you in that area, I will give you swap partners and you'll be able to swap addresses. Okay, so this is fun. This is what we're doing. We're going to be making these, we're going to be sending them out to a like-minded friend this month, and we've got a month to do it. So the deadline will be the last day of May. Don't forget to send some pages and a scrap pack to a like-minded friend this month, and do of course have a lovely relaxing time in your quiet crafting space. Give me a thumbs up and a comment if you like what I'm trying to achieve here, which is to send a ripple effect of kindness and creativity around the world. The Treasured page runs on kindness, and I do appreciate each and every one of you for your wonderful support. So thank you everybody, and above everything else, just slow down and make crafting time for you. Bye bye now.